I'm Sasha, and this is Myra Pridham's personal account of how Optimax eye surgery ruined her life. In 2005, on holiday in Jamaica, I went snorkeling for the first time in my life. I was amazed to see the beautiful marine life in clear, warm waters, but with a prescription of -8 in both eyes, I could barely tell one fish from another. It was then I considered laser surgery. I visited Boots opticians in Bristol, where they told me I was unsuitable for laser surgery as I had keratoconus, an uneven cornea. However, ICL implants, intraocular contact lenses, were suggested as a possible alternative. At that time, I was working full-time, running my own business, living with my partner of 15 years, and caring for my mother, who suffered with dementia. Sadly, in September 2005, my mother died, leaving me enough money to afford eye surgery. March 2006, I went to Optimax's Finchley Road Clinic in London to meet Professor Jan Venter. With my partner by my side, I listened very carefully to what Jan Venter said. I was delighted when he advised I was definitely suitable for ICL implants. He claimed amazing success results for the implant ops he performed. When asked about the numerous possible side effects and problems listed in the patient consent form, Professor Venter replied there was a slim chance of some glare at night whilst driving, but to take no notice of the small print, only there because of legal requirements, and no chance any of it would apply to me. 24th of April 2006, I returned to Finchley Road to have the first lens implant in my left eye. Surgery was quick and painless. Back to our hotel, a large dressing over my eye, and instructions to see the surgeon for a checkup the next morning. Following that, I returned to my Devonshire home, 280 miles away. I was thrilled at how clearly I could see and looked forward to my right eye being treated. 4 days later, back to London, same procedure, and home again. As instructed, I applied steroid and antibiotic eye drops 4 times a day. Although my eyes were watery, I was ecstatic that I could see clearly without glasses or contact lenses for the first time since I was 9 years old. 10 days later, the steroid drops had finished, but my vision was clouding and getting worse. I called the emergency number I'd been given for Professor Venter. His wife answered, and she told me not to worry, assuring me the cloudiness was quite normal and advising me to attend my follow-up appointment in Bristol 6 weeks later. Her husband didn't bother to call me back, by the way, ever. 1 week later, my eyes were so bad I made an emergency appointment at Bristol's Optimax clinic, where Dr Joanna McGraw described more steroids. For the next 2 months, I travelled back and forth to Bristol, seeing a different optometrist each time. On one occasion, lucky enough to see 2 doctors. But not once did I see or hear from Jan Venter himself. By July, my eyes were so painful that I went to the emergency department at Barnstable Hospital, where the doctors gave me an increased steroid prescription, so at least the pain began to lessen, but all I could see was a dark mist. Autumn 2006, I was registered blind. In desperation, I paid for a private consultation with Mr. Carl Whittaker at North Devon District Hospital. He told me I had uveitis in both eyes, causing my blindness, a severe, uncontrolled inflammation with deposits building up on both my natural and implanted lenses. Mr. Whittaker said he would attempt to remove the implants, but was unable to promise I would ever see again. Words cannot describe how I felt being told I might never regain my sight. Once a cheerful, positive person, I became a total and utter wreck, unable to perform the simplest task without help. Diagnosed with clinical depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, without my sister's support, I know I'd have given up. I developed eczema on my head and in my ears, leading to severe infection eating away the nerve endings in both ears, making me deaf. By the end of December, I was unable to hear anyone speak, even if they stood right in front of me. So not only was I now blind, I was also deaf. I was in hell. I rarely left the house and saw only my sister. I also had some very bad falls. One day, I urgently needed to collect a prescription from the pharmacy, only a 10-minute walk away. Because it was bright and sunny, I was just able to see my feet, so I was fine getting there. But by the time I'd come out of the shop, it had clouded over and I couldn't even see my hand in front of my eyes. I didn't have my phone with me, and never in my life had I been so frightened. By tapping my foot along the curb, it took over an hour to get home. Unable to see or hear, I'd even crossed a busy road. In March 2007, the uveitis infection was under control and Mr. Whitaker operated on my left eye. I wouldn't know if it had been a success until the dressing was removed the next day. When it was, the light was blinding, excuse the term. But once my eyes adjusted, it was amazing. I could see again. 6 months later, September 2007, Mr. Whitaker operated on my right eye, and despite looking like I'd gone 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali, after a few more weeks I could see normally. Over the next 3 years, I saw Mr. Whitaker at least 150 times, at huge cost to the NHS. I cannot thank him enough for restoring my sight. In 2006, having been a successful businesswoman, I became a quivering wreck, and the psychological damage will stay with me for the rest of my life. I still have my white stick, and often practice moving around with my eyes closed, as psychologically I continue to believe I'm going blind. As a result of this surgery, my quality of life has been destroyed. My relationship ended, I'm unable to work, the depression and anxiety continue. Recurring nightmares, panic attacks, some deafness, and the constant struggle to live on income support has brought me so low. I am so tired. All this could have been avoided had Professor Jan Venter provided adequate aftercare. He failed in his duty of care, as did Optimax. The only reason I've survived this is because my son needs me. Myra has been in litigation with Optimax, Jan Venter and his wife for more than 6 years. Hopefully it'll reach its end soon. However, in all these years, Myra has not had so much as an apology from Russell Ambrose, Jan Venter or anyone else, nor has her payment to Optimax been refunded. Professor Jan Venter and his friend Dr Joanna McGraw left Optimax and moved on to work at Optical Express, where Jan Venter is now also Clinic Director of the Optical Express International Medical Advisory Board. For more information on this, I recommend you visit opticalexpressruinedmylife.co.uk. Meanwhile, please sign the petition for government legislation below. Thank you.